Hey, this is Clayton with Everything Ponds. Today we are doing a liner install. So this is a community project. It's a small lake that they're deciding to build in this town. They're going to use it for kayaks and stand-up paddle boards. It's kind of a community gathering place. So we've got a 220,000 square foot liner here. It's made in about 13 pieces, and then what we're doing is seaming it on site. So if a project is 60,000 square feet or less, we can often make it in a single piece liner, which is nice, no seaming on site. But on something of this size, just because you can't ship that size of a liner in one piece, it's multiple pieces. So as you can see here, we got a few of the rolls already unrolled. The nice thing about using multiple rolls sometimes is if you have fluctuating widths of the lake or pond, you can save on material a little bit because you can make the panels different sizes and almost stagger them around to fit the area really nicely. So behind us here we got a few rolls unrolled, and we're just about to start doing some heat welding. And a liner this size, 220,000 square feet, even though it's quite large and it's fairly significant, we can have this installed in usually 2 to 3 days. So it's really nice compared to some other materials where there's a lot of seaming. It might take 2, 3, 4 weeks sometimes. So from that perspective, the RPE is really nice. So on this project, we have the 30 mil Premium RPE, which is our go-to liner for something like this. The 40 mil is also nice if you need the extra puncture resistance. As you can see from the substrate, it is all dirt. It's nicely compacted, it was excavated well. The anchor trench still needs a little bit of work to smooth it out, but we're still working on that. If you have any rock or anything like that in your substrate, you really want to try to get rid of that if you can. So this is a good example of nicely compacted dirt, and the liner can go over that without any geotextile. So on a project like this, you got to be concerned about a couple things. The first is groundwater. Ideally, you want to have a nice dry substrate, so you're not putting the liner into water. It's okay if it's damp. If it is, you might want to just give a little bit of extra looseness in the liner so that if it does settle a little bit, your liner doesn't get too tight. As you can see in the background, I'm not sure if you can see it, little white blobs on the liner. Those are sandbags because there is a little bit of wind here. You don't want the liner blowing around once you've unrolled it. So the way this works is we basically start on one edge, we unroll a liner down the slope, across the whole bottom, back up to the other slope. And so then once it's unrolled, you get a person every 10 to 15 feet, and you grab the edge and you can actually pull the liner across the width. And there is a couple ways that you can pull the liner out. You can do it just with people pushing the roll. There is a strap on the liner that you can pull. Sometimes people hook that up to some kind of equipment and pull the strap that way. Or another way you can do it is by putting a metal spreader bar through the roll. There's actually a tube through the center of the liner roll, and unroll the liner that way as well. That's also how you can lift the rolls into place with some equipment and a spreader bar. So usually there's an anchor trench on the edge of the pond or some kind of an anchor shelf. So you want the liner to come right up to the edge, and then you can fill in your anchor trench. You put the liner into the anchor trench and then fill it in, or onto your anchor shelf. And that's how it's secured on the edge. But before you do that, you want to make sure everything's nicely heat welded, it's all positioned, and with a little bit of give room too, just in case things settle down the road. You don't want that liner too tight. So on something like this, after you've unrolled it, after you've pulled it across, you're going to have the liner kind of loosely laid. At that point, you can kind of get some people and tug it around the corners and kind of move the liner around to get it nicely positioned. And then in the end, you should have it, nicely laid out and fairly smooth. And if you have any, if it's really deep, you can do some larger pleats or folds to get the liner folding really nice. But as you can see in the background here, things are coming along nicely. All right, so it's actually only, lunchtime on the first day, and we've already got this installed. So I think it might only take 2, max 3 days to install this liner. So in this project, because we have some thunder showers in the forecast for this afternoon, we're just unrolling enough liner that we can heat weld before that happens. If you had more time and good weather, maybe we'd start unrolling more rolls, but you don't want to do that if it's raining, because you can't heat weld in the rain. So currently that's what we're doing. We're just about to start heat welding, and then we'll have this sort of end of the lake done today. So thanks for checking out this video. If you have any questions at all, you need help designing your liner, say you got a big project, just give us a call or email us and we can help walk you through that process. All right, thanks. Have a great day.